Good morning and welcome to my Monday morning wisdom section. Today we're on the letter Q. Can you believe that? And what I'm going to talk about today is questions. The questions that you ask yourself. Now, the reason this is so important is that the quality of the questions that you ask yourself will absolutely shape the course of your life and the results that you get. Now, here's the thing. Most people aren't even aware of the chatter that's going on in their head. You have around 50 to 70,000 thoughts each and every day, and most of those thoughts are the same ones as the day before. What that means is a lot of your thinking has become habitual. And as your habits are run outside your conscious mind, you're not even aware of what's going on. So your first thing to do is have a little listening to the things that you say to yourself. And when you start to listen to the questions, this is where it may get quite interesting. You see, a lot of people either focus on the past, they think about everything that went wrong, that didn't happen, that they haven't done. So the questions that are associated with that are often more of the tendency of, oh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? It's not fair. Why does someone else get greater success than me? Maybe there's something wrong with me, blah, blah. So it really starts to question their self-worth, their self-respect. And we know that our thoughts influence how we feel. So if our thoughts aren't great or our questions, we're going to go, first of all, not feel good, and we're going to get into a spiral, probably a negative spiral of downward state. So a lot of thinking about the past and questioning ourselves about what happened ultimately leads to not feeling good, and sometimes at the extreme level, depression. The other questions that people often ask is about the future, about things that haven't even happened. And that comes from fear, and that usually creates anxiety. So I'd love to know from you what sort of questions you ask yourself. Are you a worrier? Do you worry about what hasn't even happened yet? Do you worry about things in the future and you start to ask questions? Will I be okay? What do I need to know, etc.? So when you listen in and you start to hear the questions that you're saying, you are then empowered to ask some better questions. And I think this comes down to a will and a desire to improve and to grow. And I have a quote that I wrote down from Confucius, who said, "A man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake." So if you put that in the context of the questions you ask yourself, if you're not feeling great or the questions minimize your energy, like contract, because energy only expands or contracts, then it might be time to correct the question that you're asking and ask a better one. So I have 6 questions in different scenarios that may help you, and sprinkle these into your day and your life, and I guarantee that you will start to see more solutions. You're opening up possibility, and you're sending the energy of the mind towards future possibilities, expansions, and solutions, and curiosity mindset, which is important. So when you have a situation where the outcome wasn't as you wanted, a question you can ask yourself is, what could I learn from this experience? Most people go on about what went wrong. However, if you stop and you simply ask, what can I learn from this? That means it's allowing you to take out something positive and lock it in and leverage from it and learn in the future. Number 2, if you do not like your current situations or your current jobs, or you're having a hard time, a really good question to ask is, what can I be grateful for right now? Gratitude is the antidote for many, many things. And if you start to look around at the small things and you can find small things to be grateful for, you're moving out of fear, worry, and anxiety, and you're shifting your focus from what isn't working in your life to the abundance, to what is and what you're grateful for. And when you're feeling grateful, you can't be feeling fearful or depressed or anxious. Now, another time when something goes wrong, I used to do this a lot. So imagine that you don't get the results you want, something's gone wrong. I used to choose 3 meanings and pick the one that gives you the best result. So ask yourself, what else could this mean? And which is the meaning that I prefer? So you simply get creative and come up with some new solutions to what happened, and you pick the one that works. So your question there is, what are 3 different meanings this could mean, and which one gives me the best results? It's a great strategy, that one. If you get overwhelmed, this is a question that can be super helpful. What is the one small action step I can take right now? Otherwise, overwhelming just creates stress and anxiety, and you get in this downward spiral. So that is a question that takes the energy of the mind to one simple next step. And once you can get back into action, you're in momentum. Number 5, losing focus. This is a very common habit for people to fall into, getting distracted and losing focus. So a question that I used to have written on my desk is, am I focusing on the important or the interesting? That would focus my mind back to the moment, and I would check in. Am I just doing this because it's interesting? However, is it really important? That gives you a check so that you can get back to doing what really matters and what is important. And lastly, if you're looking at making a decision, perhaps it's setting up a business, moving, launching your new career, doing an investment in yourself, learning a new course, doing some studying, mentoring or coaching, and you feel a bit fearful, know that that is normal. And a question you can ask is, what would happen if I simply stepped through this fear and took the action required? So what would happen if you stepped through the fear and you made a decision to do it anyway? Great question to ask. And when you explore all the options of what might happen, the great things that could happen as a result of you making this decision and stepping through your fear, and you start to look at all the possibilities and opportunities that will open up. Again, it shifts you out of fear and energy of scarcity, fear, and contraction into the energy of abundance, opportunity, and success. So that's a few questions that I hope you will find helpful. I'd love to hear from you when you check the video out as to if you have a great question that you ask yourself. Lastly, I ask myself a set of questions every day and every week, every month, quarter, and year, because if we're not checking in and reviewing what we're doing in our life and having a look, it's hard to log, improve, and grow, and make tweaks or changes. So I hope you have some questions that you review your day, your week, your life with. Otherwise, use the ones I've given you and let me know how you go, and if you have any questions. Have a great week. Thanks again. It's Mandy from Mindset for Success for the Winning Mindsets Facebook group. And if you know anyone else who could benefit, please invite them into the group, and keep safe and have a great week. Bye for now.